Okay, time for a new video, and whether you are somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it is greatly appreciated. As always, I'm filming this video in one go, so if I stumble over my words moving forwards, apologies about that, and also apologies if the quality of this video is fairly poor as well. If there's any lag, anything like that at all, sadly it can't be helped, and hopefully it's not too much of an issue for you. This is yet another Eurovision 2024 related video here on my channel, and as I talk to you now, it is the 30th of April, and all of the semi-final 2 participants for the upcoming edition of the ESC in Malmö, Sweden, have now had their first rehearsals on stage, and right now I'm about to go through each country one by one and give you my brief thoughts on what I have seen and heard over the past 2 days. As always, you are welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always there are links in the description to my other social media pages, check them out if you so wish. First things first, I do want to say that it's been quite refreshing for me over the past week or so, because I've not been consuming nearly as much Eurovision related content as I have in the past. About a decade ago I would be watching so many videos, so many rankings, reading blogs, all of this stuff. I would be just surrounded by the contest, and it was nice at the time, and I was using my blog a lot more frequently and writing several thousand-word articles on the contest. I'm just so glad I don't really do that anymore. And it's been really refreshing this year to have a lot more of a distance from everything Eurovision related. It's been really nice, and to be honest I should have done it years ago, and this may go some way to explaining why I don't have accreditation this year, and I might not have it next year, and I've never had it in the past, just because it is nice to not be completely consumed by the contest, if you see what I mean. But of course I have been checking out the rehearsals, and I've been going through all of the photographs that have been released. So, getting into the point of this video, semi-final 2 is next Thursday. It's looking a hell of a lot stronger than semi-final 1. There are more competitive and expressive entries, arguably, in semi-final 2, and I was just a lot more intrigued by what I saw and heard. Now, I haven't really ranked these rehearsals, but if you would like to know my top 5 from the semi-final 2 first rehearsals, I'll tell you at the end of this video, and there will also be a post on the joint Instagram page about this at some point within the next few hours as well, all being well. So let's go through this one by one. If I forget anything important, apologies, it's been a long day. Malta got things going. Sarah Bonici with Luke. Well, she was at a few of the pre-parties and sounded pretty good. I was very impressed by this. I think Malta are giving themselves a great chance of going through, but it is on first, and is still seen by many, I would say, as a bit of a borderline qualifier. Sarah is front and centre in this sparkly outfit. The issue I have here, she's got dancers, male dancers, black outfits. The issue I have is that this is so darn predictable. You could have guessed it was going to look like this before she stepped forward on the Malmö Arena stage. You could have guessed it. And Cyprus opening semi-final 1, it's a similar story. And Austria, who I'll talk about in a moment, that's also a little bit similar. Female performer, male dancers, perhaps with their tops off, and a bit of choreography. It just feels a little bit cliched at this point and fairly uninspired. So that's a bit of a criticism. But I have nothing else to really fault about this. I liked it very much. There's pyro, there's this big light behind her on the backdrop, and what this reminded me of is a sort of runway show. You know those events where the models come out and they walk down the catwalk and there's music in the background. This is the sort of song that I could hear at an event like that. Sarah's looking good and sounding fairly good. She's lifted up at one point. There's pink lighting, there's green lighting, the choreography from the music video is here as well. There will be comparisons made, I'm sure, to Chanel for Spain a few years ago, and watching the rehearsal clip yesterday, yes, there are a few slight comparisons, but on the whole, I can't complain about this. I think Malta have given themselves a good chance already based on this very short first rehearsal clip. I liked it. Moving on to Albania. Wasn't so keen on this one. I think Albania are in big trouble because Malta have improved and are coming up on the rails, and I talk about momentum all the time and how key that is. So Malta have a little bit of that, and then you've got Greece on afterwards. Albania sandwiched in the middle, big trouble. But we know Albania have a habit of sneaking through to the final and then finishing about 21st in the grand final. This is Bessa with Titan. She's the best thing about this because she's a very capable vocalist. But everything else I didn't think was really working at all, and I'll be honest, I really don't think this is going to be too memorable at all. I think a casual viewer will forget about it very quickly. I don't really like her outfit, but that's a really minor thing. It's blue and black and white. Couple of dancers who move around the stage a reasonable amount. I can't remember whether there's pyro or not. In this image, I'm looking on the Eurovision Instagram page, by the way. In this image, there's lots of images of people on the backdrop. And I've got my notes here as well, and I don't really have anything else to add. I just found it all a little bit forgettable. What else can I say? I know it sounds harsh, but this one didn't really strike me at all. Got to be honest. Then we move on to Greece. Well, people were just climaxing when they saw the photos, and then the rehearsal clip came out, and, you know, everybody was just wetting themselves with excitement. This is Marina Sati with Zari. This is so popular, so well loved. And the TikTok clip has had well over 1 million more views than any other country, which is very impressive, but of course doesn't really count for much. We didn't really know what to expect here because Marina hasn't really been at the pre-parties, but I like her very much. I like her outfit. She's wearing sort of black boots, a silver foil-like miniskirt and a white crop top. She's got dancers in black. There's quite a lot happening on the screen behind her. It's very colourful at one stage, and it sort of struck me as maybe a little bit chaotic, but organised chaos, if you see what I mean. A little bit like the music video, which was a bit of an assault on the senses, I guess. It looks to be all one camera shot. Still don't know if that's the right idea, because this is a fluid song, so it needs to look fluid, and that stage is big. And this is a slight criticism, not directly at Marina at all, but I think to a lot of the artists this year, that stage goes off to the left, it goes off to the right, it goes forwards. Use that space if you can, because otherwise you are going to be swallowed up by your own damn song, in my opinion. And we sort of saw that a little bit maybe with some of the semi-final one-first rehearsals. But anyway, I like her confidence, I like her voice. I'm not sitting here absolutely in raptures about it because we've only had a few photographs and about 15 seconds of mishmashed video clips from inside the arena. But it is looking pretty good, and there is a lot of buzz surrounding this song. However, next up is Switzerland, the favourite to win. And as much as Greece was good, this to me stood out to me a lot more. It's Nemo with the code. This is going to be massively reliant on, I think, the camera angles, because I imagine we're going to have a camera above Nemo, maybe quick cuts from either side of the stage, maybe some sort of shadow play. Nemo is atop this sort of seesaw circular platform. Don't like the outfit at all, and I'll tell you why. It doesn't really matter, actually. The outfit's okay, but I'm not loving it. The problem is that some people in the media will focus on the outfit more than anything else to do with this performance and the song, and that's not really the way it should be. And also, you could say the outfit's a bit of a distraction from what is quite a serious song. Anyway, I don't want to sit here and sound controversial. It doesn't really bother me. I'm just not a huge fan of what they're wearing, which is this sort of pink jacket and furry pink boots, by the looks of it. Anyway, vocally fantastic. Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? This does look quite polished, and it looks as though it could be really effective. That second rehearsal clip, I'm very, very excited to see it, because once we know exactly how this is going to be portrayed with all of the camera shots, I think that's the make or break element with this song. The juries will eat this up in the final, there's no doubt about it. Nemo is jumping at one stage, and it seems as though there is a bit of light maybe in the final third, but this is quite dark, and I don't know, I feel as though there should be a little bit more colour earlier on. But on the whole, really quite good. Really quite good. And I'm looking at the comments here, and you've got Taya, who represented Austria last year, Luna, who's representing Poland this year, Alexandra from Kano from Norway, and Sheldon Riley from Australia, former Eurovision participants here, all supporting Nemo this year, which is pretty cool to see. Anyway, let's now move on to Czechia. And the first thing I've written here is boobs. Well, you know, they're right there in my face. What else do you expect me to say? So this year, the theme seems to be scantily clad. It doesn't really bother me. I think she looks pretty good, and it sort of suits this type of song and this type of performance, I guess. Anyway, focusing on the rehearsal clip, this feels like it's Aiko's own gig, which I think is really nice. And the cubes, which I'm not sure too many delegations are using at all, they're really lowered for this performance, which looks very cool. Lots of dark, moody red lighting. And then I think we've got images of musicians flashing up on the cubes at one point as well. It's just 3 minutes of pure rock, really, I guess. Vocally, she's a bit stronger, but I think she could be stronger still. I'm not sure this has really improved her country's chances of progressing, because looking at all of the semi-final 2 first rehearsals we've now had, this one is maybe not quite hitting the mark for me personally. But I enjoyed it for what it was. She's got dancers on stage with her, and I mean, this is a massive, massive improvement from that rather disappointing national final performance last year. And we knew it was going to be fairly disappointing because that national final took place in some sort of bar in Prague. Now she has the opportunity to really shine, and hopefully the second rehearsal will make me think that this is in with a much better chance. Right now I'm still sort of on the fence. I wouldn't be surprised if this really struggles, but I also wouldn't be terribly shocked if this went through. Anyway, let's try and cut out the rambling now. Austria. This was a bit of a disappointment, if you ask me. This is Colleen with We Will Rave. She's in this black outfit, wearing a white coat at the start. Male dancers. There is something very Maria Sur about this. If you think about Melfest a couple of months ago, yes, this is looking maybe a little bit similar. Blue lighting, this sort of diamond structure above her. Lasers, I think, at one point. I can't quite recall. She looks pretty good. I don't think she's the best vocalist, but let's not really focus on that at the moment. This is seen by some as a potential non-qualifier. I think she's going through, but I really think in the final this could struggle quite a bit, because visually this is nothing like what it perhaps should be. I was expecting more colour and even more energy, and yes, the rehearsal clips are short, but I was just left feeling a little disappointed. It looks quite cold and clinical, whereas it should look a little bit more lively and energetic and what have you. I've written here, dark, question mark? Yes, I was very surprised by that. Maybe the fan flop of the year. Some people have been saying it for a few weeks now. It could happen. Moving on to Denmark. This was as expected. There is Saba with Sand on stage in a very similar, if not exactly the same outfit that she was wearing at DMGP. It's just her on this slightly raised platform. Seems as though there's a slight ring of yellow lights around her at one point. This does look very good. Earthy tones, white lights streaking across the arena, and hopefully her voice fills this big arena because it's just her, front and centre. So hopefully, as I said previously, hopefully she's not swallowed up by the song and the stage doesn't look too empty. There's a smoke machine as well in this photo I'm looking at. Whether this goes through or not remains to be seen. I think it's still a borderline qualifier if you ask me. But I think this is starting to get a little bit more attention at just the right time too. Similar to Malta. And that could work in Denmark's favour. Then we have Armenia. Well, I like this. Loving the outfits. Liking the energy. Liking the confidence. But I did want a little bit more, I've got to be honest. There are slight Moldova 2022 vibes with this one, and we know how well that song did in Turin. But yes, there's a whole bunch of musicians on stage here. Lots of musical instruments, which of course aren't being played live. Lots of yellow lighting. Quite repetitive images of her on the backdrop at one point. and this raised platform of boxes and lights and what have you, drum kit off to one side. This looks like it's just a really fun 3 minutes. Traditional outfits, yes. Rotating images on the backdrop, yes. But still fairly dark. Yes, there's lots of yellow lights, but on the backdrop there's still a lot of space that's just black. And again, we've only seen so little of what, you know, will be the whole thing next week, but that left me feeling a bit disappointed. May look better on television, obviously. But not too bad at all from Armenia, not too bad, and this is gaining more support by the second. Let's now rattle on through to Latvia, the first artist to rehearse today. This was Dons with Hollow. So he has opted for an all-blue outfit. Does it work? I don't think he looks too bad. This is like Denmark. It's just the lead artist. Nobody else visible on stage. They are in command of this performance, in command of this song. So you have to really deliver the goods because the onus is on you. I thought he sounded fairly good. He's got this big ring on stage. Again, the backdrop fairly dark for most of this performance, but we do have pulses of light at one stage as well. This looks better than it did at Supernova. It's a much bigger stage, of course. And I have nothing else to really add about this one. I'd like to see Latvia qualify, but I've got to be honest, I don't see it happening. And many more rehearsals of the semi-final 2 participants stood out more than this one, if you ask me. And that includes San Marino, who are up next. This is Megara with 11:11. Pink is the order of the day here. Quite striking attire. You've got the guitarist who's wearing an outfit that is on one side black and then this sort of zebra print on the other side, but in pink and black. The lead singer with the pink hair with this sort of porcupine effect on her back. This looks really good. You've got a clock on the background, flames everywhere, quite a bit of energy. I've written latex type style outfits, yes indeed. They're having a blast. There is energy. The dancers, because there are a few dancers, seem to have pilfered Nemo's boots at one stage. And these two women here are in sort of all-in-one skeleton costumes, very Halloween. I liked this. I thought it was one of the stronger rehearsals out of all of the semi-final 2 participants, in all honesty. It just stood out quite a bit. And I don't know whether this is gaining more support or not, but hopefully this won't be disgraced in the results next week. Lots of lights flashing about the place, and you know, this is one of the more straightforward rock-type entries this year, which could work in San Marino's favour. Anyway, my God, what a ramble. Georgia next. This was very good. This was very good. Nutsa with Firefighter. My word, the amount of love for Georgia this year. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of it, and it's gaining all the time. She looks great. She's in this gold outfit, vocally strong, another raised platform, couple of dancers, another circle behind her on the backdrop. Maybe, again, this is a performance where more of the stage could be used, but that's a really minor criticism. It looks fierce, it looks powerful, flames galore, really quite strong indeed. And I have to say, now I am pretty damn sure Georgia will be qualifying for the final. What else do I have to say here? Yeah, the end of this song, because I think we saw that in the rehearsal clip, that could be a little bit more emphatic. Maybe we'll have pyro, I don't know. A job well done, there's no doubt about it. One of the stronger rehearsals. Then we have Belgium. This is Musty with Before the Party's Over. This is one of my favourite songs of the year. So Musty's there in a white outfit and a sparkly top, and he's on this rotating platform with all of these microphones. So recreating that moment from the music video, which I was hoping for, and that looks really good in these photos, and it looked pretty good in the rehearsal clip. I thought vocally he wasn't too bad, and certainly that last 30 seconds or so of this song, that could be a real moment on stage. Maybe this slow panning shot across the arena, that would be really fantastic. Not right up there as one of the best, in my opinion, from the semi-final 2 participants, but certainly a job well done. Then we have, I think it's Estonia next. This is Vis Minust and Pulup. And they're in black outfits, quite smartly dressed, I think it's fair to say. This is slightly different from Eesti Laul. We have pink and green lights on the backdrop at one stage during, I think it's the first and maybe second chorus. The choreography is there. Then we have a lot of yellow lighting and these blocks on the backdrop and the cubes above them, all in yellow. One of the guys is in the audience, or close to the audience, at the start of this song, so that's an interesting touch, and similar to what they had pretty much at Eesti Laul as well. Some people think this is an NQ. Certainly on the TikTok clip which I watched earlier, some people were fairly disappointed, but I think this is going through. I think neutral viewers absolutely may well be on board with this. It's catchy, it's fun, I liked it. Maybe not one of my big favourites, but certainly I enjoyed it for what it was, and this may only get stronger. Then we have Israel, and nobody really knew what we were going to get here. It's Eden Golan with Hurricane, another circle on stage. And she's got dancers who sort of sit inside this circle. There's an image online which you may well have seen, so you'll know what I'm on about, but they're sort of holding on to this circle of lights and inside it as well. And that's quite a powerful image, I think. Now, obviously there's a lot of controversy surrounding Israel this year. The strongest thing about this, I would say, is her voice. Her voice is very good. And honestly, if there was a jury vote in the semi-final, the juries would probably absolutely love her voice and dish out several points here and there. As for the public, well, this is still probably going through, let's be quite honest. I wasn't blown away. There are dancers. She's lifted up at one point. Oh, there's the image. It's on the Eurovision Instagram page. That's what I'm on about. This was fine. It was fine. Sort of swirling blue patterns on the backdrop at one point, like a hurricane, I guess. It was all right, but there were stronger rehearsals. Then we move on to Norway. Well, talking of stronger rehearsals, whew, this was just scrum-diddly-umptious from start to finish. This is Gorta with Ulveham. This was great. Black outfits, smashing vocals, similar to MGP, but as I've said before, if it ain't broke, it don't need damn well fixing. And it's rotating at one point, I believe. The guitarist throws his instrument up in the air towards the end of the song. Let's hope he doesn't drop it, because that could look quite terrible if indeed that happens. But flashing lights galore, water on the backdrop at one stage, if I recall. This looks ready to go, and this is the sort of song that needs a big arena, big atmosphere, fired up crowd. That's what they're going to get next Thursday, and indeed next Saturday, because this is cruising through. Margaret Berger has commented here, which is fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Stands out a mile. Yes, it's dark, but this song needs to be dark until at least the end, where it sort of really becomes quite frantic. Absolutely wonderful. Strong. I've liked the picture. Whoops, never mind. Really fantastic, really good stuff. Then we have the Netherlands, and there's huge excitement about Joost Klein and Europapa. Apparently there's going to be some never-before-done thing regarding this performance. We saw none of that in this first rehearsal clip. He's wearing the outfit from the music video with the big blue shoulders, two dancers in white outfits, some guy off to one side behind part of a vehicle, it looks like, and then you've got some guy dressed as the Duolingo bird, but in blue with the EU flag on them. It's all over the place, and there's lots of images on the backdrop. It's all a little bit chaotic. In the rehearsal clip, he is having a whale of a time when it really becomes he's having a great time. It's very infectious. It's quite vibrant and likeable. It could be a car crash, and here's my thinking. People are talking about this winning. He's going to have to do better than Karja did last year with the jury vote in the final. I don't see that happening, so he ain't winning unless the juries are really on board with this and the public have him as perhaps a very clear winner in the final. But this is going to do very well. He's obviously loving every moment of this. It's a very proud moment for him. Very different for the Netherlands. Absolutely cruising through. I liked it, didn't love it. I think there's going to be some sort of augmented reality thing at one point when he's talking about all of the different countries and he's sort of moving along like this on stage. We'll wait and see. But promising signs. That's it. What a ramble, dear viewers. Let me know your thoughts. Apologies for repeating myself numerous times and probably forgetting a whole bunch of stuff as well. The top 5 for me, and this is a very loose ranking, so for heaven's sake don't take it seriously. Norway, Switzerland, Georgia, Malta, Netherlands. Those were the 5 best for me. And very briefly, just going through each of them again one by one. Malta, keep doing what you're doing because it's working for a lot of people. Albania, forgettable, hate to say it. Greece, need to see what those camera angles are like. Switzerland, looking and sounding pretty damn strong. Czechia, not too bad, but still might be lost in the mix. Austria, disappointing. Denmark, not bad. Armenia, not bad, could be better. Latvia, fine, might be a bit too forgettable. San Marino, just don't know where the love is going to come from. Georgia, definitely coming up on the rails. Belgium deserves a lot of love. Estonia, not too bad. Israel, fine. But look at this. Estonia and Norway sandwiched in between them. And aren't Italy going to be performing around there as well? My God, that Israeli performance. This is not me being a hater. I'm just stating that it really is not going to stand out too much in my opinion. But a great voice. Norway, an even better voice. And just fantastic. And then the Netherlands also looking fairly promising too. So there we have it. I'll be back with another video at some point soon, probably about second rehearsals or the automatic finalists' first rehearsals, whichever happens first. Have a drink, heaven's sake. Dear me. Until next time, hopefully the lag wasn't too bad. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye for now. See you soon.